So there's a reason that you learned about pyramids before you learn about cones, because isn't a cone just a circular pyramid? So it has a base like a circle, and it comes up to a point. So we really can use the same surface area formula, area of the base shape plus 1/2 perimeter times slant height, except the area of the base shape is the pi r squared. And the 1/2 PL, okay, think about this. How do you find the perimeter of a circle? Isn't that just the circumference? So then if we take 1/2 perimeter of the circle times the slant height, what's 1/2 of 2? Just 1, and then we just have the pi, the r, and the slant height, so the cone formula goes pi r squared plus pi r L. Just remember that you need to memorize these formulas, so I'm explaining them to try to make that a little easier. Pi r squared for the bottom, and then pi r L, maybe you want to write that down as the lateral area, right? Alright, and then the volume formula would take exactly 3 of these babies to fill up a cylinder with the same dimensions. So it's 1/3 the area of that base circle times the height, so 1/3 the area of the base circle times the height. And let's do a quick example. Alright, so really on a cone all you need is a radius, a slant height, and a regular height. On this cone, what do we know? The radius would be 2.5 feet, right? The slant height, do we know the slant height? That's the 3. And what's the trick for figuring out the height? Since this is a nice right cone, it's standing up straight, we've got the radius, the slant height, and the regular height make a right triangle. So we'll do a little Pythagorean theorem. We've got 2.5 squared plus the height squared equals the slant height squared. Alright, 2.5 squared, that's 6.25. We've got 9. 9 minus 6.25, 2.75. Okay, here's a little pro tip. Leave your height as the square root of 2.75. Don't round that right now. We're going to use it later, so just save it for later. Let's do this. So surface area of a cone. We've got the bottom, pi r squared, and the sides, pi r L. So pi times 2.5 squared plus pi times 2.5 times 3. So that's 6.25 pi plus 3 2.5s, so that's 7.5 pi. Trying to do everything in terms of pi so I'm not rounding too early. Alright, so if I add these together, I'm getting 13.75 pi. Now is a good time to type that in. And now if I want to round it, I use the pi button. 43.197, I'm going to say. And that's area, so that is in square feet. To cover that cone, we would need about 43 squares. Alright, let's do volume. Volume. It's 1/3 of a cylinder as far as holding water. Pi r squared is the base, and then it goes up to this tall. So we've got 1/3 times pi times 2.5 squared. Now here it is. I'm going to type that in for the height. So I'm going to take I'm going to type this all in at the same time. 1 divided by 3 times pi times 2.5 squared times the square root of 2.75. No rounding until I write down my final answer, which is, I'm getting 10.85, round that up to 4. That is volume, so that would be in cubes, cubic feet. And that's all there is to cones. Not too bad.